At the far edge of the Zorathian galaxy, a single human ship appeared. It was unlike any vessel the aliens had seen before. Sleek and shining, it moved with confidence through the dark expanse of space. Commander Zal stared at the holographic display in his command room. Hundreds of alien vessels surrounded the area, their weapons ready. The humans were known to be dangerous, cunning, and unpredictable. Yet, only one ship had come. Zal could not understand it. Why would they send only one, he asked his officers. His voice carried tension. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the control panels. Every officer looked at the display, eyes wide. Perhaps it is a trap, said Lieutenant Tova. We must prepare for battle immediately. Zal shook his head. No. Humans do not need numbers to be dangerous. Watch carefully. Observe before acting. He had studied humans for many years. They had always been clever, using unexpected tactics to win. Zal had seen reports of battles where humans with only a few ships defeated entire fleets. Still, this was unusual. Sending just one ship seemed reckless, almost impossible. Inside the human ship, Captain Wren sat calmly in the control chair. The interior of the vessel was simple but advanced. Screens displayed the position of the alien fleet, the speed of the ship, and nearby celestial objects. Wren touched the controls with practiced ease. Every movement was precise. He did not look worried. He did not rush. The human ship had a strange aura of calm confidence. Wren's sensors picked up the entire alien armada. Hundreds of ships surrounded him, their weapons pointed toward his vessel. Most commanders in his position would have panicked. They would have called for backup, retreat, or reinforcements. But humans were different. Wren understood that strength was not always in numbers. Intelligence, strategy, and courage could be stronger than any fleet. He knew he had to show the aliens that humans could face them even alone. The aliens made their first move. A small probe ship sped forward to scan the human vessel. Wren adjusted the ship's shields and moved slightly to the left. The probe did not detect anything unusual. The human ship seemed almost invisible, its energy signature smaller than expected. Zal watched the readings, frowning. They hide their true power, he said quietly. The alien officers murmured in surprise. Wren began a slow approach toward the center of the alien fleet. The larger alien ships turned to face him. Their weapons glowed, ready to fire. But Wren moved carefully. He did not rush. Each step was measured. The human ship seemed to dance through space, passing between enemy vessels without touching them. Every alien sensor that tried to predict its movement failed. Zal's frustration grew. He had faced humans many times, but never like this. "Captain," said Lieutenant Tova, pointing at the display. "Why is the human not attacking? This is our chance to destroy it before it reaches the fleet." Zal's eyes narrowed. "Do not rush. This is a test. Observe their mind, not their weapons." He leaned closer to the display. He noticed something unusual. The human ship was not moving randomly. Every movement had a purpose. It was learning, adjusting, and predicting. The humans were not just strong, they were intelligent. Wren's ship reached a position at the edge of the fleet. He activated the communication system. A calm voice spoke to the alien fleet. "I come in peace. I am Captain Wren of the human ship Horizon. I request dialogue with your commander." The voice carried authority and confidence. The aliens were surprised. Most species would have fired immediately at such a bold message. But humans were different. Even in their voice, there was power. Zal took a deep breath and replied, "Why have you come alone? Do you not fear us?" Wren smiled slightly. "Fear does not guide humans. We come to understand and to challenge, not to run. You will see our strength soon." The words were simple, but they carried meaning. The aliens had expected arrogance, but this was calm confidence. The fleet shifted uneasily. Zal could feel the tension in his command room. He had studied humans for years. He knew that one human ship could destroy hundreds if underestimated. And yet, here was one ship, moving slowly and purposefully, daring to enter the heart of the alien armada alone. Ren looked at the alien fleet, not with fear, but with focus. Every sensor, every calculation, every possibility was in his mind. He knew the aliens were watching, trying to guess his next move. But humans had a skill no one else had: the ability to think differently, to act unpredictably, and to turn the impossible into reality. The aliens would soon learn this lesson. The horizon moved closer to the alien center. Zal's officers held their breath. Every eye followed the human ship. The silence in the command room was thick, heavy with anticipation. One ship. One human captain. Against hundreds of alien vessels. The situation seemed impossible, yet the human did not hesitate. Zal leaned back and whispered to himself, "Perhaps we have underestimated them." He did not yet know how right he was. The human ship moved steadily forward. It was the calm before the storm, the quiet moment before the first test of courage and intellect. Ren's mission had begun. The galaxy would soon see why humans were unlike any other species. One ship could challenge a fleet. One mind could outthink many. And the aliens would never forget the arrival of the horizon. The horizon hovered at the edge of the alien fleet, its sleek form gleaming under the faint light of distant stars. Captain Ren's eyes scanned the vast array of enemy ships. Every vessel was armed to the maximum, weapons glowing with deadly energy. The aliens expected fear from the lone human ship, but Ren felt none. He felt focus, clarity, and determination. The humans had faced impossible odds before and always found a way. Inside the alien command ship, Commander Zal studied the horizon. He could not understand the calmness of the human captain. Most species would have trembled in this situation. Most would have called for reinforcements or fled. Yet here was one human ship, alone, daring to approach a fleet that could destroy it in seconds. Zal's officers whispered among themselves. "It is insane," said one. "Or brilliant," said another. Zal did not answer. He needed to see what the human intended. Ren activated the communication channel. A soft hum filled the ship as the voice system connected to the alien fleet. "I am Captain Ren of the human ship Horizon," he said, his tone even and steady. "I wish to speak with your commander. My intention is not war unless forced." The calmness of his voice surprised the aliens. They had expected threats, demands, or submission. Instead, they received confidence and honesty. Zal replied carefully, his voice strong but curious. "Why do you approach alone? Do you not fear us?" Ren's answer was simple and direct. "Fear does not guide humans. We come to understand and to test. You will see what we can do." The words were measured, but every alien officer could feel the weight behind them. Humans did not speak without purpose. The alien fleet remained silent, unsure of what to do. Zal studied the horizon, noticing that its shields were modest but effective. Its weapons were not yet active. The ship seemed fragile, yet there was an air of power around it. The humans had learned that strength was not always in size or firepower. They could use skill, creativity, and unpredictability to gain advantage. Ren slowly moved the horizon closer to the fleet's center. His ship glided smoothly, as if dancing in space. Sensors on the alien vessels tried to track his movement. Every calculation failed. The horizon shifted direction unexpectedly, passing through tight gaps between enemy ships. The aliens began to whisper nervously. "How can one ship move like this?" Zal's brow furrowed. He had studied human behavior for years, but this was different. The humans did not rely on brute force or numbers, they relied on intellect and adaptability. A small alien fighter moved forward, clearly tasked with testing the human ship. It approached with speed, ready to attack if necessary. Ren's hands moved with precision on the controls. He adjusted shields and thrusters, guiding the horizon to avoid the fighter effortlessly. The alien ship swerved, trying to anticipate the human's next move. Each time, it failed. The humans were unpredictable in ways that alien minds could not comprehend. Zal leaned forward, intrigued despite his frustration. "They do not panic," he said. "They are calm and confident. They think differently." His officers nodded, realizing that this human captain might be more dangerous than any entire fleet. Most species measured strength by numbers, by weapons, or by size. Humans measured strength by courage, intelligence, and creativity. One human ship could outthink many alien vessels. Ren reached a safe position in the center of the fleet. He activated the main communication system again. "Commander Zal," he said. "I do not come to destroy your fleet. I come to demonstrate human capability. Observe carefully. Understand our strength before judging us by numbers alone." His words were calm, yet they carried authority. The aliens could feel the truth behind them. Humans were unlike anything they had faced before. The fleet held its position, watching the horizon. Ren studied the enemy carefully. He could see their weapons, their formation, and their intentions. Every alien move was predictable if one understood their mindset. Humans did not just react, they adapted and outthought their opponents. Ren was ready for any action, not with fear, but with planning and strategy. Zal's voice came over the link again. "Your confidence is surprising. We expected arrogance. We expected recklessness. Yet here you are, calm and precise. Why?" Ren smiled slightly, though Zal could not see it. "Confidence comes from preparation and understanding. Fear comes from ignorance. Humans face danger with clear thought and courage. You will see why one is sometimes stronger than many." The alien fleet began to sense that they were dealing with more than a single ship. They were facing a mind, a strategy, and a spirit that could not be measured by conventional means. Zal felt unease in his chest. This was not a battle of weapons alone, it was a challenge of intellect. One human ship had entered their midst and already shifted the balance of power. Ren kept moving steadily, never showing fear or hesitation. He knew that the first impression was crucial. The aliens would judge humans by what they saw. If they believed the humans were weak, disaster could follow. But the horizon showed strength through calmness, skill, and clarity. The alien fleet began to respect the human captain, even if they did not fully understand him. As the horizon approached the fleet's center, a quiet tension filled space. One ship alone. Hundreds of alien vessels surrounding it. Yet the human did not panic. One mind, one captain, one vessel enough to challenge the entire armada. The first contact had begun. The humans were ready, and the aliens would soon learn that this single ship was far more dangerous than it appeared. The horizon floated at the center of the alien fleet, its sleek shape gleaming under the distant starlight. Captain Ren's eyes moved over the displays, noting every ship, every weapon, and every signal. The aliens had not expected a calm human to enter their formation so boldly. They had assumed fear, confusion, or hesitation. Instead, they saw precision and control. One ship, one captain, and no sign of panic. Commander Zal's eyes narrowed as he observed the human ship. "They move with confidence, but why so bold?" "This is madness," he said. His officers shook their heads in disagreement. "It is not madness, Commander," said Lieutenant Tova. "It is strategy. Humans are unpredictable. They will test us in ways we cannot foresee." Zal frowned. He had seen humans win against impossible odds before, but he did not understand how one ship could face an entire fleet. The alien fleet moved in unison, signaling a coordinated attack. Hundreds of energy beams lit up space, each aimed at the horizon. The fleet expected the human ship to retreat or falter. But Ren's hands worked smoothly on the controls. He adjusted shields, diverted power to thrusters, and guided the ship through the barrage. Each laser missed by mere meters. The horizon weaved, turned, and slipped between fire with almost impossible precision. Inside the alien ships, panic began to rise. "How can one ship evade us all?" whispered an officer. "It is impossible," another added. Commander Zal took a deep breath. He realized the human ship was not relying on speed alone. It was predicting the attacks, anticipating the fleet's actions, and reacting in ways no alien had expected. Humans had a way of thinking beyond conventional limits. Ren activated the communication system again. "Commander Zal," he said calmly. "Your fleet is strong. Your tactics are impressive. But humans do not follow expectations. Observe carefully and you will understand." His words were not threatening, yet they carried a quiet warning. One human ship could outthink hundreds of alien vessels. The aliens began to sense that they were being challenged in more ways than one. The fleet fired again, this time with faster and more complex patterns. Each alien vessel attempted to surround the horizon, trapping it in the center. Ren studied the formations carefully. He calculated trajectories, analyzed weaknesses, and chose the best paths. The horizon slipped through gaps, danced around barriers, and avoided collisions. Every move was deliberate, as if the ship itself was alive and thinking. Commander Zal watched with growing unease. His fleet had never faced an opponent like this. Most species relied on numbers and power. Humans relied on creativity, intelligence, and adaptability. One human could outthink many. The horizon proved that today. "They are not just surviving," Zal whispered. "They are testing us." Ren's sensors detected a small group of alien fighters attempting a new tactic. They tried to surround the horizon in a tight formation, expecting the human ship to be trapped. Ren tilted the ship, accelerated, and released a small diversion device. The fighters reacted too slowly. The horizon slipped through the formation, leaving the alien ships behind. Each move taught the aliens something new about human thinking. Inside the horizon, Ren stayed calm. He did not rush, and he did not panic. Every alien attempt was a puzzle to solve. Humans excelled at problem solving under pressure. Each decision he made was precise. Each maneuver was intentional. One ship, one mind, yet enough to challenge an entire fleet. The aliens began to realize that brute force alone could not defeat this human captain. Commander Zal called his officers to a briefing. "Pay attention," he said. "This is not a normal attack. Humans do not fight like other species. Observe their patterns. Learn from them. We cannot underestimate one human ship." The officers nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. The horizon was teaching them a lesson. One human could change the outcome of battle without firing a single weapon. Ren continued to move through the fleet, analyzing and adapting. He noticed a weak point in the alien formation. Not in their weapons, but in their coordination. He sent a small signal, activating a minor decoy, drawing several ships slightly off their positions. The aliens responded, unaware that the horizon was controlling the flow of battle with subtle precision. Humans could fight without fighting, using strategy instead of destruction. Zal's chest tightened. He had never respected an opponent so quickly. One ship alone had outmaneuvered his entire fleet. The aliens had expected to overpower, yet they had been outsmarted. The horizon had proven that strength was more than weapons. Intelligence, courage, and strategy could surpass numbers. One human was enough to test a fleet. Ren moved calmly to a central position, as if he were inviting the aliens to continue their challenge. He knew this was just the first test. He had to show the aliens that humans did not rely on fear or aggression. They relied on clever thinking and courage. One ship could face many because humans saw possibilities that others ignored. The alien fleet paused. Every ship held position, observing. One human ship alone had avoided destruction, avoided fear, and demonstrated the power of intellect. The Horizon had passed the first test. Humans had shown that they were not weak. They were unpredictable, fearless, and capable of facing impossible odds. Commander Zal finally understood that this was no ordinary ship. The Horizon drifted in the center of the fleet, calm and ready. Ren's eyes scanned the aliens again. The first test had ended, but the real challenge was just beginning. The humans had proven their capability, but they would need to continue demonstrating their strength. The aliens had seen a new kind of power, one that came not from numbers, but from courage, strategy, and intelligence. Captain Ren floated at the center of the alien fleet, the Horizon steady and calm. He had passed the first test, but he knew this was only the beginning. The aliens were smart, but their reliance on numbers and overwhelming firepower left gaps in their thinking. Humans had learned to use those gaps to survive and to gain advantage. Ren was ready to show them how dangerous a single human ship could be. Commander Zal studied the Horizon from his command deck. One ship has already outmaneuvered our entire fleet, he said. His officers exchanged nervous glances. We cannot underestimate it, said Lieutenant Tova. We need a plan to counter human thinking. Their mind is as much a weapon as their ship. Zal nodded slowly. He understood that brute force alone would not win this encounter. Humans had a different kind of strength. Ren began his next move. He activated a series of small drones from the Horizon, sending them outward in precise formations. The drones created a complex pattern, drawing the attention of several alien ships. They moved as a single entity, forcing the aliens to react. The fleet began to adjust their positions, trying to contain the human ship and its small fleet of drones. Inside the Horizon, Ren smiled slightly. This was exactly what he wanted. The aliens were reacting, but in doing so, they exposed weaknesses. Their ships clustered too tightly, leaving gaps in the formation. Ren noted every opening, every movement. The humans had always understood that in battle, mistakes could be opportunities. The aliens were providing him with both. Commander Zal's voice came over the fleet's communications. Do not allow them to manipulate our formation. Focus on the Horizon and the drones. They are trying to distract us. Zal's officers adjusted their ships, but the humans were already anticipating the counter moves. The Horizon shifted, slipping through openings with precise calculations. Every move was deliberate. Every adjustment was planned. Ren activated the ship's main sensors. He observed energy levels, weapon charge times, and communication signals. Humans were not just reacting, they were analyzing. One human mind could handle complexity that often required several alien officers working together. Ren calculated the best path forward, not with aggression, but with efficiency. He knew when to act and when to wait. The aliens attempted a new tactic. Several groups tried to converge simultaneously on the Horizon. It seemed like a trap, designed to overwhelm the human ship. Ren's eyes narrowed. He had expected this. He guided the Horizon through the gaps, adjusting shields and thrusters with precision. The ship moved like a dancer, graceful yet powerful. Every alien attack missed by small margins. The humans had turned the alien strength into a weakness. Commander Zal frowned. He could see his ships moving, but they were too predictable. The Horizon was teaching the fleet a lesson in strategy and flexibility. Humans did not rely on sheer power. They relied on observation, analysis, and action. One human could outmaneuver dozens, sometimes hundreds, if the opponent did not adapt quickly. Zal realized that to challenge the Horizon, he would need more than brute force. Ren activated another system, creating small holographic decoys around the Horizon. The aliens fired at the false targets, wasting energy and revealing patterns. The real ship moved calmly through the chaos. Humans had learned long ago that deception could be as effective as weapons. Every move of the Horizon demonstrated skill and intelligence, showing the aliens that one ship could change the course of battle without destroying a single vessel. The alien fleet began to hesitate. Commander Zal noticed confusion spreading among his officers. "They are not just avoiding our attacks," he said quietly. "They are controlling us. Every move we make seems to follow their plan." Lieutenant Tova nodded. "It is as if one ship is teaching hundreds. They are showing us a new kind of power." Zal's chest tightened. He realized that this human captain was not only surviving, but shaping the battle itself. Ren moved the Horizon into a central position, preparing for the next stage. He knew the aliens would test him further, but he was ready. Every calculation, every adjustment, every maneuver was precise. Humans had always thrived when facing impossible odds. One ship could challenge a fleet not because of weapons alone, but because of courage, intelligence, and strategy. The Horizon was the perfect example of that principle. The alien fleet waited, wary and unsure. One human ship had already demonstrated that it could outthink hundreds of vessels. The Horizon had turned the first engagement into a lesson, showing that size and firepower did not always determine victory. The aliens had learned that intelligence and adaptability could equal or surpass overwhelming numbers. Captain Ren's eyes scanned the fleet, calm and focused. He knew that the real test was only beginning. The aliens were learning from him, but he also studied them. Every weakness, every pattern, every reaction was noted. Humans had survived by thinking faster, acting smarter, and never giving up. One ship could change the outcome of a battle, and the Horizon was about to prove it again. The Horizon glided through the alien fleet, calm and deliberate. Captain Ren's eyes scanned the enemy ships, noting every movement and every shift in formation. The aliens had begun to respect the human ship, but respect did not equal surrender. Ren knew the real challenge was still ahead. One ship could survive, but to win, he had to turn the tide of the battle. Commander Zal's hands tightened around the control panel. His officers were tense, each trying to predict the humans' next move. "They have outmaneuvered us for too long," Zal said. "We must strike decisively or risk total failure." He ordered several groups to break formation and focus on surrounding the Horizon from all sides. It was a bold move, but Zal knew humans often acted unpredictably. He hoped overwhelming force would succeed. Ren anticipated the change immediately. The Horizon shifted smoothly, slipping through the tightening circle of alien vessels. He activated small energy pulses from the ship's thrusters, creating a cascade of light that confused enemy sensors. The aliens aimed at the wrong locations, wasting energy and leaving gaps in their own lines. Every attempt to trap the Horizon failed. Humans had learned that patience and precision often achieved more than brute force. The alien fleet tried again, this time coordinating in smaller groups to block every escape path. Commander Zal observed the situation carefully. "They are controlling our moves without even attacking," he muttered. Lieutenant Tova nodded. "It is like watching a predator dance around its prey. Every move is calculated, every step intentional. One human is teaching us strategy as we fight." Zal's officers were quiet, realizing the truth. The Horizon was not just surviving, it was leading the battle. Ren noticed a weak point in the alien formation. A group of larger vessels had overextended while focusing on the Horizon. Their coordination faltered, and energy shields were slightly lower than normal. Ren acted quickly. He guided the Horizon into the space between the ships, using the narrow corridor to create tension. The aliens could not fire without risking damage to each other. Humans excelled at using the environment and enemy mistakes to their advantage. He activated a series of holographic decoys, each moving in different directions. The aliens fired repeatedly at the false targets, consuming precious energy and resources. Meanwhile, the Horizon moved calmly through the corridor, ready to strike if needed but focused on survival first. Humans had always understood that the mind could be a weapon as powerful as any laser or missile. One ship, one mind, could control the actions of many. Commander Zal grew frustrated. "They are not attacking," he said sharply. "They are teaching us, manipulating us. This is no ordinary enemy." The officers nodded, recognizing the unusual threat. Most species relied on fear or force. Humans relied on intelligence, courage, and timing. One human could lead, adapt, and outthink an entire fleet. The Horizon had demonstrated this clearly. Ren calculated the next move. He would not destroy the fleet immediately, the goal was to turn the tide without unnecessary destruction. He guided the Horizon to the rear of the alien formation, where smaller ships were overextended and communication lines were weak. Using small, precise energy pulses, he created controlled disruptions, forcing the alien vessels to separate and adjust. The fleet began to lose cohesion, their confidence shaken. The aliens realized the situation was changing. Commander Zal called for a halt in direct attacks. "Focus on defense," he ordered. "We are losing control of the battle." Lieutenant Tova looked at him and said, "One human has outmaneuvered hundreds. We are being tested, and we are failing." Zal clenched his jaw. He had underestimated the human capacity for strategy and control. The Horizon was no longer just surviving, it was dictating the flow of the battle. Ren felt a quiet satisfaction. The first skirmish had passed. The humans had demonstrated skill, patience, and intelligence. The aliens were no longer confident in overwhelming numbers alone. Ren's plan was working. By observing, analyzing, and acting precisely, the Horizon had shifted the balance of power. Humans were proving that one ship, guided by courage and intellect, could achieve what many thought impossible. The alien fleet paused, regrouping and reconsidering their tactics. Commander Zal knew they had to adapt quickly. One human had outsmarted them repeatedly. The Horizon was not a threat because of weapons, but because of thought and strategy. Humans had always thrived by understanding possibilities others ignored. One ship had shown that today. Ren kept the Horizon steady, observing the alien ships. He knew the next stage of the battle would require careful planning. The aliens had begun to learn, but he had also studied them. Every weakness, every pattern, every hesitation had been noted. Humans had survived impossible odds before, and the Horizon would continue to show that courage, intelligence, and strategy could shape the outcome of battle. The Horizon moved confidently through the alien fleet, calm and steady. Captain Ren's hands guided the ship with precision, each maneuver calculated and deliberate. The aliens were beginning to understand that they were no longer in control. One human ship had shifted the balance, and the consequences were becoming clear. Commander Zal studied his screens with concern. The alien ships were scattered, their formation broken. "They are too clever," Zal said quietly. "One ship is outthinking us all. We cannot fight like this." His officers nodded. The humans were demonstrating a level of skill and intelligence that few species could match. The Horizon was not only surviving, it was leading the battle and controlling the actions of the fleet. Ren focused on observation. He noted every weak point, every hesitation, every overreaction. Humans had always thrived in situations where patience and analysis mattered more than raw power. The Horizon used its speed and agility to exploit gaps, forcing alien ships to divert energy to defense rather than offense. Every move sent a clear message: humans were not to be underestimated. The aliens tried a new strategy. Small groups moved to corner the Horizon, hoping to trap it against larger vessels. Commander Zal's voice rang out over the communications. "Do not allow it to escape. Converge on its location from multiple angles. The fleet moved like a net tightening, but Ren anticipated each motion. The horizon slipped through openings with careful adjustments, using thrusters and shields to avoid collisions. Humans had learned long ago that foresight and planning could defeat even the strongest opponents. Ren activated another set of holographic decoys, each appearing to be the horizon. The aliens fired at the false ships, wasting energy and leaving themselves vulnerable. The real horizon moved quietly among the chaos, forcing alien vessels to react to imaginary threats. The humans had turned deception into a weapon, showing that a single ship could control hundreds of others without firing a single shot. Commander Zal's frustration grew. He had faced many challenges, but one ship outmaneuvering an entire fleet was unlike anything he had seen. "They are not just surviving," he said. "They are teaching us how weak we are when we rely only on numbers. One human is showing us the power of intelligence." His officers fell silent, understanding the truth. The horizon had become more than a ship, it was a lesson in strategy and control. Ren noticed a cluster of alien vessels moving too close together. Energy shields were weaker, communication signals overlapping. He guided the horizon between them, forcing the ships to separate or risk collision. The aliens adjusted too slowly, their formations breaking further. Every human movement exploited the enemy's rigidity, showing the advantage of flexibility and quick thinking. The fleet attempted to regroup, forming a larger defensive perimeter. Commander Zal gave orders for coordinated attacks, but the horizon anticipated each move. Ren's sensors detected energy surges and predicted weapon charges. He avoided every attack with calm precision, demonstrating the human ability to combine observation with action. One ship could outthink hundreds, and the horizon was proving it. Ren activated a subtle maneuver, creating a visual illusion that made it appear as if the horizon was moving in multiple directions at once. The aliens fired wildly, trying to target what they thought were multiple ships. Energy was wasted, shields weakened, and confidence eroded. Humans had mastered the art of control through perception and strategy. One ship could dominate not by force alone, but by manipulating the enemy's expectations. Commander Zal realized that the fleet could no longer function as a single unit. Confusion spread among his officers. "We are losing coordination," Tova said quietly. "One human is controlling the flow of battle without even touching our ships." Zal's hands clenched. He understood that the horizon's power was not in weapons, but in mind and strategy. The aliens had underestimated the human capacity for intelligence and patience. Ren kept the horizon moving, steady and calm. The aliens were adapting, but each adjustment revealed new weaknesses. Humans had always survived against stronger foes by observing, analyzing, and acting decisively. The horizon showed the alien fleet that one ship could dominate 100 others through skill, courage, and intelligence. The humans were demonstrating that numbers were not always the answer, and that a single mind could shape the course of battle. The horizon continued to weave through the fleet, unbroken and unstoppable. Captain Ren's eyes remained focused on the enemy, noting every detail. Humans had always turned disadvantage into opportunity, and this battle was no different. One ship had already shown dominance over hundreds. The aliens were learning that to challenge humans, they needed more than size and firepower. They needed the ability to think, adapt, and act as quickly as one human could. The horizon moved through the scattered alien fleet like a calm shadow. Captain Ren's hands guided the ship with steady precision. The aliens had tried everything, but their efforts had failed. One human ship had outmaneuvered hundreds of enemy vessels, showing the power of intelligence, strategy, and courage. Commander Zal's voice was tense over the communications. "We have lost control of the battle. The human is not just surviving, it is shaping the fight." His officers were quiet. They had never seen such skill. The horizon had turned their confidence into doubt and their strength into weakness. One ship had done what many thought impossible. Ren observed the fleet carefully. The aliens were attempting to regroup, but hesitation was everywhere. Ships moved slowly, unsure of what to do. Humans had always excelled when facing impossible odds. The horizon demonstrated that bravery combined with intelligence could control even the largest enemy force. Ren smiled slightly. This was the ultimate test, and humans were proving their worth. The horizon activated another series of holographic decoys, each moving in different directions. Alien weapons fired at the illusions, wasting energy and leaving gaps in the real formation. Ren guided the ship through the openings with calm efficiency. The aliens were learning, but too late. One human mind had already outthought their entire fleet. Commander Zal knew his fleet was on the verge of collapse. "We must retreat and reorganize," he said firmly. His officers agreed. The humans had not destroyed them, but the lesson was clear. One ship could dominate hundreds without firing a single decisive blow. The horizon had proven that intelligence and strategy were more powerful than numbers alone. Ren watched the fleet begin to pull back. Humans had always relied on adaptability and foresight to survive. The horizon had shown the aliens that their strength was not absolute. One ship could teach an entire fleet about the power of patience, observation, and careful action. The aliens would remember this day for a long time. The horizon moved toward the center of the battlefield, calm and controlled. Ren activated a soft communication signal, sending a clear but peaceful message to the alien commanders. "We do not seek war. We only show that humans are capable of much more than expected. Learn from this. Respect strength, but respect wisdom as well." The aliens listened, silent and cautious. Commander Zal stared at the communication. He felt a mixture of frustration and respect. One human ship had outsmarted hundreds of his vessels, guiding the battle without destroying anything. The lesson was clear: humans were not just fighters. They were thinkers, leaders, and survivors. Zal realized that the horizon represented more than a ship. It represented the human spirit. Ren guided the horizon slowly back to open space, away from the alien fleet. The battle was over, but the impact remained. Humans had shown that even a single ship could challenge a mighty fleet. The aliens would carry the memory of this encounter and adjust their tactics in the future. Humans had earned respect not through sheer force, but through courage, intelligence, and strategy. The alien fleet moved away, regrouping in silence. Commander Zal ordered careful monitoring of the horizon's departure. One ship had changed everything. Humans had proven that thinking, patience, and precise action could turn the impossible into reality. One human mind could lead hundreds, control situations, and survive against overwhelming odds. Captain Ren looked at the stars stretching ahead. The horizon had completed its mission. Humans had once again demonstrated that even a single vessel could hold the power of an entire fleet through intellect and courage. The galaxy had witnessed something new, something powerful. One human ship had left a mark that would not be forgotten. As the horizon moved forward, Ren reflected on the battle. Humans had always thrived when facing challenges greater than themselves. The aliens had expected strength, but they had encountered something different. They had encountered intelligence, strategy, and courage combined. One ship, one captain, one human mind had shown that even against impossible odds, survival and victory were possible. The horizon disappeared into the vastness of space, leaving the alien fleet behind. The lesson was clear, written not in destruction, but in mastery. One human ship had proven that courage and intelligence could surpass numbers, and the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Humans had earned their place, not by firepower alone, but by their ability to think, adapt, and lead. Captain Ren sat back in his chair, calm and satisfied. The horizon had completed its mission. One ship had demonstrated the extraordinary potential of humans. The aliens had learned a lesson they would not forget, and humans had proven that even the smallest force could make the greatest impact. The story of the Horizon would be remembered as a moment when courage, strategy, and intelligence shaped the outcome of a battle and changed the galaxy forever.